Hey collective, this is Butterfly Mystic Oracle 28 here. I hope this message finds you well. I'm gonna hear some raindrops playing in the back. That's just where I was led. So this is the first type of deck that I have like this. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Lumicela. Normally I do all Oracle cards. This is a spiritual crafted tarot deck. This is Togetherness Quilts, and this is Thriving Tapestry. It's been on my spirit to give a thorough message from Lumicela. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Spirit, we come to you, Holy Spirit, asking you to guide us in clarity and the things that the collective needs to know right now for their better good, for their higher self, for the better of the world. Any negative energy, any evil eye, even any bad intentions, thoughts, any words stated, and negativity across any of myself or the collective, we do not send it back to sender. No. We take it and we alchemize it into power, into strength, into love and light. Then we send it back to those who are sending those intentions, the love and light, for we to remember when we were unaware. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So I'm really feeling like we're going to start off with one card that is going to be the foundation of this read. And once we get that card, we will go from there. As I said on the earlier read, I do feel like the energy of knowledge is circulating. I thought all this energy was going to be provided while I was fasting. However, it seems to me that maybe I was resting and restoring, because now the downloads were coming. However, it was more on a personal level. Whereas now I feel like I'm just getting for this reading. Card for this reading. Alright. The foundation for this card is fear. See that card, so let me put it over here. Fear. Right now, collective, we're in a lot of unknowns. Fear of the future. Fear of the past. Coming back. Fear of pain. Fear of finances. Just a lot of fear. And I know we hear it all the time, but I want to remind us, fear, false evidence appearing real. I'll say that again, false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Okay. A symbol. Create a life mosaic that showcases beauty in both light and shadow. Create a life mosaic that showcases beauty in both light and shadow. You know, I have really been stepping into the power of, there are shadow parts of us, right? Especially when people are telling you what is right and what is wrong. And I'm not saying accept that you got a smart mouth and not change it, but accept that that's a part of you. And maybe that smart mouth was for you to be witty or for you to be clever. Every gift that we have, the boldness, the too loud, the too quiet, the whatever someone thought was an issue with you, on the other side of that issue is how you can use it for a gift. Step. View milestones as stepping stones on your journey to a joyful life. When you're stagnant, when you're not moving, when you're not trying, when you're not in action, nothing is done. But as you make steps, even if you fail, you are failing forward. Do it anyway. You're in fear, go through the step anyway. And then focus. Maintain a purposeful path by aligning your focus and eliminating distractions. If things, people, environment is blocking you, remove it. Remove it. Just that simple. I heard a quote today, literally, and a mastermind that I go to in the morning. Let me get this quote because it's so fitting. All right, the quote came from Nelson Mandela. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. I'm going to say it again. This is a quote by Nelson Mandela. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. And the brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. So this message is to let you know that any fear that you have, anything that's arising for you, is going to be conquered. A symbol. I get butterfly clarification on the symbol. Interwoven calm. Incorporate stress-reducing activities into your daily routine, maintaining a balanced emotional state. This is so good. I mean, whether it be breathing, meditating short time, 30 breaths, meditating, listening to music, dancing, finding 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you can to calm your nervous system down. Tapestry of affection. Such a big heart. Show love and appreciation to those close to you, reinforcing the bonds of affection. Relationships are not easy. Friendships, family relationships, personal relationships, spouse, getting there to be in committed relationships, getting there to building bonds, getting there to rebuilding misunderstandings, arguments, whatever it may be. We often think as soon as we see a heart, but it's really about family. It's really about togetherness. And in those forgiveness, and I understand that sometimes it's just a fear of, where do I belong? How do I not bother? How do I fix this? Why I should just remove myself from it. But if we remove ourselves from every problem, every issue, as if all it is just toxic, will we ever learn? Will we ever build? Do we give time for people to grow? Because we grow. We change. Can they not too? You know, it's allowing that space and grace for someone too. Now, some things is just like, no. And I'm not saying those things. If it's a boundary or it's things that hasn't passed, but if you have bonds and things that you commit with people, you can still allow people back into your space with compassion and distance. Really clarification on birth, life, and the step, Holy Spirit. Clarification for steps. Clarification for steps. Clarification for steps. I feel like the cards are just showing how sometimes we don't know the next step to make. We don't know where to go. So it's like we have a pause, a hangman in the cycle, right? A stalemate, a stalling of our ideas. We're caught in our head. We're assuming, we're overthinking, we're obsessing, and that's stopping the movement. What's the next step to get out of that fear? What's the next step to get out of that fear? I feel like this is something that has bogged down, not only for months, but years, and it really puts us in this state of, where do I go? And that's where we go to gratitude. Gratitude patch. Maintain a gratitude journal to focus on life's small joys, fostering a mindset of contentment. When we don't know the next step and we're in fear and we're in that pause, let's step into gratitude. Thinking that I'm grateful for the things that I've overcome. I'm grateful for being in the present. I'm grateful that the things in the past that hurt me, I'm no longer living in it. I'm grateful for the things in the past that are awesome memories. I still remember it. I lived it. I hold it dear. But in this present mind, even without knowing exactly where I'm going or the next step I make, I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for who I am. To and for me. And Spirit, can I get and focus? Mosaic of unity. Collaborate on a project that requires diverse skills, recognizing the value each person brings. Which means sometimes, and I go through this the same, you know, you want to be alone and you think that it's safer that way. You think that, okay, if I do it by myself, I won't get hurt. But the pain is still there until you deal with it. And what joy when you can find people to work through issues with, to collab with, to make yourself better. There is your tribe out there. There are people out there. You weren't meant to be in this world alone. So wanting to do it alone is really, yeah, some things are meant, just like healing. Some healing you can get on your own. And it is meant for you to be by yourself and be in hermit mode and do what you need to do. However, other parts of healing you only get when you entertain with other people, because once they trigger something in you, or once you have something that arises, and I'll let you know, oh goodness, I need to work on that. Alright, as we're assembling into this calmer affection, it's going to cause celebration. Because you're going to be calmer. You're building. You're growing. It's all coming under the covers of love. And you're able to celebrate it. It's a beautiful thing. Know the celebration is coming. And when we're having those, oh, I couldn't even get out. All right, those steps, they're going slow and they're in gratitude. But you're manifesting. The magician. You're literally creating. Create a life. Mosaic that showcases beauty in both light and shadow. Mosaic of unity. You're creating. And in that creating, you are also exploring and learning even more things about yourself. You're in the pursuit of happiness. Whatever success and happiness means to you, that's what you're in pursuit of. And it's what's coming towards you. In an emperor status, boss status. You're making decisions, you're standing on them. You're making actions and you're executing them. And the focus, mosaic of unity, the clarity and the Holy Spirit. There have been hardships. There have been obstacles and challenges that have met you. And that's why the focus is needed. The perseverance is needed. Give me some more clarity on that hardship and how it's panning out, getting over the fear. Logic. So logic can go both ways, because at times it's like, you know what, let me go ahead and do the logical thing. And sometimes you have to go against the grain, right? And it doesn't seem logical. So this is where you in tune, just like the logic of fear. Sometimes fear is there because it's supposed to warn us. It is something that sometimes helps us. You know what? That doesn't look safe. Let me not go there. I don't feel too good about that. Let me not do that. But when it's blocking you and that logic is causing a hardship on your dreams, that's when it's something to be evaluated. And bringing, see what dropped. Okay. And you know what? When that dropped, it's the mood ring. On the lavender sage. Alchemy. You know, it's hard to also go from emotion to logic. Logic to heart. But remember that your heart space won't fail you. If it's done out of love and that's your attention, even if someone doesn't receive it in the same way. And it's caution. Have that caution, but still do it. Still do what you need to do, but be aware. And be careful of being in fantasies. It's okay to dream, but is this reality? And I'm not saying where it's like, oh, smash on a big dream. It's, all right, if your dream is to go out and find $1 million on the ground in 2 days, I mean, is that a fantasy? Can we try $20? Because Because most of the time, if you find $1 million, that's going to be some fake money or somebody coming after you. I'm just saying. Right? You want to be in reality. So there's something else he wants to say about that. All right. Loss. I don't take these in reverse, even though it came out. But there is no loss. Loss is what we attach to it. If something, someone important of value was there and is no longer there, it's grateful and gratitude for the memories that we have. But I can't lose what's supposed to be with me. And if you have a fear of loss, when you're holding on to anything too tight, eventually, and that's that conflict, the inner conflict between self. Am I going to go with what my heart says? Or am I going to go with what my mind says? And any time you are making actions on fear, it's going to be an error. Because you are making an action and you are making conclusion on something that is giving you the false evidence of appearing real. That's a conflict in itself. I'm going to resolve over this conflict with spirit and spirit guides. Empress. Going into the feminine energy, whether you're masculine or not, and nurturing yourself, loving yourself, being mindful of yourself. Knowing that everything that's going on up under these moons, you don't know. And our angels are always out there protecting us, whether we believe it or not. The closer you get to your visions and your passions, the more fear, because it's like, is this really happening? Everything inside your mind wants to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to go out on a limb. It doesn't want you to try because that's the unknown. We might drown. You might float. You might swim. You might be in so much synchronicity that you look like a dolphin out there. Fear stops you. Courage, vision, and passion pushes you on. Nurturing yourself, caring yourself, being there for yourself pushes you on. Now I understand why this message can get out so bad. You need to be encouraged to know that no matter what it looks like, they all called him a fool until he flew the plane. They all called him a fool until the light turned on. They all called him a fool when they made computers, and now we got handheld phones to do the same thing. You're going to take that leap of faith towards your vision and passion. And you're going to succeed. Because you're going to be celebrating. Because you have the victory. I don't need to say anything else. Everything is saying that you have the victory. That you're going to push through. If you don't remember, because that's exactly what I'm going to call this. Lumicela victory. Blessings, collective. That's all that needs to be said about that. I'll see y'all soon.